All right, so the date is the 21st of May 2018. And if you recall, right here at this bar yesterday, what I said was that I'm expecting a spike to the upside, the last spike to the upside in Bitcoin before we actually move down. Now, as you can see, we were at a very important resistance level right here that pushed the price to the downside from 9.4 to 8.2. Now, why was I expecting a move to the upside instead of going short here? And the reason is that previously this line was pushing the price to the downside pretty hard, like for example right here. And this time we were glued to this resistance and we were right here. And I said, well, when you have this kind of behavior where first you reject from this resistance and then when you go back to the resistance, it's like the price just doesn't want to move down. This indicates a move to the upside. I said we are now going to get a spike. I was looking for a spike a little bit higher. I was looking for something like this, a much more violent spike to the upside, which tells me that the price of Bitcoin is actually not that strong. Yes, we are now above downtrending channel, but it really makes no difference because we are looking at this behavior where the price is stepping down in terms of floors on the uptrending channel. So we were right here. So the real top in terms of the channel was actually on the 25th of April. You know, yes, nominally this one is higher, but we are lower inside the uptrending channel. So this is the first floor, like this one, you know, like here, this range. Then we move lower into this range right here. So we are now one floor below. And then we move to the bottom of the original channel that pushed the price to the upside since the beginning of April right here. And as I said, I'm going short right here because we have a change of behavior. This support level is unable to push the price to the upside. This is a change of behavior, very significant bearish change of behavior. And we fell down below the channel, then we reversed back up and we were finding resistance on the bottom of the uptrending channel. So now from this level right here, from here to here, we moved from here to the bottom of the channel, and here we actually breached and we moved another floor lower. So now we were from this range to this range, and as you might recall, I was looking for support right here at this bar on the bottom of the bar. We had the breather in Bitcoin and we reached this area of the downtrending slope, and then we moved down right here. So now from this level we moved even below this level. So yes, we are now above the downtrending channel right here, but we are still below this level right here, which previously was support. So even though we are above the downtrending channel, this means absolutely nothing until the price does something like this. For example, we shoot up and we extend higher. We move something, you know, above this previous support level that became resistance. And when we come back down, we actually find support for a move to the upside. But until this actually happens, all right, we have to be looking for a move to the downside. So what we need to do is break this behavior, repeating behavior where we are now here, then here, then here, then we are lower and lower and lower in terms of the uptrending slope, all right? So if we actually break this behavior and instead of moving lower here, we move above the previous resistance and where previously was support right here and resistance right here, and then we find support, then the change of behavior is apparent and now we are moving up. So I'll be looking for the same behavior but in reverse, where from here we move here, then here, then here, then here. But I don't think this is going to happen. I think that Bitcoin right now is very close to a top. Maybe we have already topped at this bar right here, or maybe it will take a little bit more time and we are going to make another spike to the upside, but it will be very limited in terms of strength. All right. So if I zoom in from the 1 hour time frame to the 5-minute time frame, what you see is, all right, so we were right here. All right. And what I said is, actually, we were right here. So what I said was, all right, so we're most probably now going to spike to the upside. And we did spike to the upside. And when we breached the top of the channel right here, which was drawn from the high on the 6th, right here, all right, what you see is that this line right here becomes support. So we spike above the channel, becomes support, actually becomes support right here, then right here. It tries to move back up and then goes back down to the same level. All right, so we are now back at the same level at the top of the channel, and then we move up and we spike. But what I see right now is this: 2 bearish bars based on the uptrending channel. All right, so we had resistance, 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 and you can see these are actually bearish bars. Now, maybe we are going to spike a little bit higher, and we are going to have, you know, several spikes like these ones. All right, so maybe we can go a little bit higher, 8.65, 8.7 again. You know, so we currently top at 86.43. All right, so we already reached a level where we could have already topped. So maybe this has already been the top. But let's say we move higher again, another attempt by Bitcoin to push higher. I'll be looking for resistance a little bit above the previous spike to the upside, something like this, and a reversal lower. Okay, something like this, and a reversal lower. Now, probably in terms of timing, I would say about, you know, this doesn't show the price range. What it does is the time that I'm expecting, pretty much like this is 6 o'clock UTC time for a top. So yeah, maybe we're gonna get a little bit more spiky behavior to the upside, but the fact that the price is actually unable to move up decisively, you know, whenever you have some sort of a big kind of a breakout from a downtrending channel, usually the shorts are not able to breathe whatsoever. The price just moves up and up and up, and very small, tiny moves to the downside. And here we are seeing something like, well, actually the price of Bitcoin is not very strong here. So yeah, maybe one more move to the upside. Maybe we have like, so we are now what, 8 o'clock UTC time. So maybe we have like 10 hours of more strength to the upside. So I was looking for shorting right here. Actually, I did short right here. If we move a little bit higher, I will get even more short. And so yeah, so until we move above this line right here and we find support right here, or maybe even right here, I will have to remain bearish Bitcoin. And I believe that today, right here in this area, we are gonna have a top of sorts, something like this. I've never drawn an eclipse, so maybe something like this. Where, how do you move that? Is the question. Something like, so maybe in this area right here, you're going to see the top for Bitcoin. And then we are going to move to the solid 7K levels for Bitcoin. Now, there are 2 possibilities for a bottom of Bitcoin before we actually move down. Now, of course, in terms of timing, I would expect that we are going to be close to the bottom at by the end of the month. So now it's 21st, so by the 31st this month we should be close to the bottom. Probably there are two possibilities for a bottom. Either this line is going to hold, which is again solid 7k level, but I personally expect something like 6.8 or thereabouts. So a move from here to here is a pretty nice move if it actually occurs and this becomes a top. Anybody who is short will be a very happy camper in the coming months ahead. So yeah, so expect a top today. And again, I emphasized what the change behavior will be, but so far, I'm getting short here in Bitcoin. I'm expecting a move down. Now, let's say we actually do a top here, like what I'm saying, and what is the most probable path of price? Maybe we'll do something like this, a move down, and maybe we're going to find support here first on this line. We're gonna get a little bit of a bounce. So we'll be, it's not going to be like a big spike to the downside. It's more like going to be some sort of another attempt for the price to move back up. And then when you breach this line, all right, this line right here, you know that the move down is now going to accelerate to the downside. So maybe we have 1 to 3 days more of, 8K. 8.3, 8.7, then 8.3 again, 8.5. So, in this area right here, a little bit of an action before we actually breach this line to the downside and we accelerate and move to solid 7K levels and eventually 6.8, 6.9 for a short-term bottom. Now, it's not guaranteed that the price will actually stop at 6K this time, but I expect a bounce so that the market makers can actually draw more longs into the market. And so let's say you do something like this. Imagine the following scenario. You have a horizontal line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a horizontal ray like this one. So what happens is that the price first, from 20K or 17K after the DeadCatBounce moves to 6K, and then you have a bounce to say 11.6, 11.7, then you move back down and again you go to the 6K level and you have another bounce, but this time you don't bounce to 11.7 like we did, but instead you top at 10K like we did on the 6th of May, and then you move back down to another for a third time to 6K. And let's say the price actually starts moving back up. Many people will be going long Bitcoin thinking that this 6K level is some sort of a massive support and this is never going to breach. And whenever the price just confirms to the casual traders and other institutional traders that actually 6K is a support, you're going to see the number of longs actually going very, very high. So let's say this time from 6K we bounced to 8.2 and 0.3K. So first 11.6, then 10K, then 8 point something, maybe even 7K, 7.9, 7.8. I expect something like this, and then a spike to 5.1. All right, so the low 5K level, and then a bounce, and then a bounce above 6K again, and then an even bigger move to the downside. So this is what I expect. Something like this, totally non-intuitive behavior of the price, where 6K is now absolute support after the third touch and a move up, and then a big crash to 5K and then eventually 4K, with the potential low of 2.9k, as I outlined in my case for 2.9k Bitcoin. So this is it. Expect the top today. Probably. Let's see if it actually plays out as I see it. Maybe we have topped here. Maybe we have another spike to the upside right here. Probably 8.7, 8.8 even. Maybe we can go to this level right here where we previously had resistance right here at 8.8. But in my opinion, right now is the time to get short Bitcoin. You can start building up the shorts and expect a big move to the downside. All right, so this is it, and I'm out.